Bam! All right, let's do it. So, let's deal with the topic at hand, shall we? Posting about sports is the gayest heterosexual thing a man can do. Change my mind. That's what we're doing right now. So I posted a little while ago. It may have been that verbatim, but let me just bring it up so I don't misquote myself. Men, unfollow every man on social media that posts about sports. Posting about sports is just about the gayest heterosexual thing a man can do. And everybody's losing their fucking mind. So, here's the thing. Number one, if you guys have been following me for a while, I mean, even if it's like a fucking week or 2 weeks and you've been listening to any of my content, you know that there are things that make men uncomfortable. And the first thing that happens when these types of men I'm referring to, the first thing that happens when they're made uncomfortable is they begin to defend their identity. And now I posted that thing about posting about sports on Facebook, on Instagram. On Facebook, I did my private page, also the Master Chim page. And, you know, I had to ban about a dozen people already who were just losing their fucking minds. They were just like if there's a line of aggravation, if you go over it, it's just boom, you're done. I throw you into the sea of the other 7.8 billion people on the planet, never to be seen again. So what you get individuals that are looking immediately to say, yeah, but, it's like, it's not an attack on you. By the way, all those people who are openly disagreeing with me, number one, do you know, we'll get to that. Those of you that have those individuals in common, I'm actually helping you see who you should unfollow, right? So all those people you should unfollow. Now, I talked about posting, right? So posting on social media about sports. The initial emotional reaction from most of the people who reacted emotionally was they saw it as an attack on them watching sports, some of them doing sports. I said posting about sports. That's what my post was about. Posting about sports. Let me read it again, in case you guys, got a little twisted. Men, unfollow every man on social media that posts about sports. Posting about sports is just about the gayest heterosexual thing a man can do. So number one, if you are posting about sports, I wasn't even fucking talking to you, to be honest. I was talking to the other guys who didn't realize that they were connected to that type of gay heterosexuality. Now, obviously, the progression of my position is, well, yeah, watching professional sports it's fucking weak. It's something that needs to be put on the priority list. Now, we could sit here and debate. Before we would debate the point that I'm going to make, please understand, it is not my job nor my desire to convert people who will fight against becoming a stronger man with every ounce of energy and resource they have. I'm not here to convince you to be awesome. I am here to recruit, equip, empower all those individuals that are looking to take out those weak rituals from their lives and replace them with stronger ones. Now, there's a reason why people eat McDonald's, right? I've eaten McDonald's, I guarantee you, as much as all of you have. So I do not exclude myself from this. By the way, I don't exclude myself from any of it. I used to be able to tell you everybody's stats on the New York Giants, on the Knicks. So once again, please do not consider me to be putting myself on some pedestal and me, I'm looking down at all the little people. No, I am speaking out of the experience of having gone through this process myself, having helped, many, many men go through this process also. If you are looking to spend your time investing in the development of you as a man. Yes, I said posting about sports, but let's just get to the heart of it. Watching professional sports is never going to make you a better man. It is never going to make you a better man. Sports represent an aquarium of the drive that men have to actually doing something productive, masculine, strong, that has been leveraged commercially by individuals who are multi-billionaires because of the average man's inability to detach himself from their drug of entertainment. Bread and circus, right? This is a lot older than the NFL, the major leagues, the NBA, and whatever else you're fucking talking about. This isn't something that is a recent invention. See, but the difference between a lot of people then and the people now is, right now, we're at a point where there is so much distraction because of technology. There is so much distraction that you can successfully be manipulated into giving up your very autonomy for the sake of comfort and entertainment. I don't need to be a real man so long as I'm entertained. It used to be way back when his life was a lot harder. You couldn't distract the motherfucker with Xbox. You couldn't send him to the movies. You couldn't send him to the processed food that has all the shit in it to get you addicted to it. None of that stuff existed, but it exists now. All these distractions exist now. So what I'm actually doing is trying to argue for the development of your individual masculinity, not so surprisingly, more than many of you are willing to argue for it yourself. I understand you want me to say that watching sports is a manly thing, a masculine thing. But it's not. It's not. You should have on a cheerleader outfit. You should be shaking pom-poms while you're watching television shows of these men running around playing a game. That's just the truth of it, right? So the couple of responses, right? So a bunch of people, yeah, but you're an MMA guy, right? That's what Dave said. You're an MMA guy. Yeah, but you do MMA. Yeah, but you train. Let's not get shit twisted, right? Because congruence is king, right? We have to talk about it, right? Yeah, I was a professional fighter. I was a professional athlete, okay? Let me lump my response to that into everybody who's asking about, yeah, but what about combat sports? What about, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? What about, all this? Listen, if you actually participate in learning how to become a better fighter, in developing a relationship with violence, and you are watching people participate in rituals that are connected to that, you are training yourself to become more formidable in an endeavor that needs to exist in the first place. Yeah, I don't train, but I watch UFC. Why is it any fucking less gay than watching NFL? And I don't mean gay. I mean like gay, If you're watching UFC fights and you don't train, then you are admiring men playing a sport. That's what you're doing. You see, the thing is, if you play softball on the weekends, flag football on the weekends, that is not an endeavor that is going to develop the functionality of your masculinity. So it has no bearing on, well, if I play touch on weekends, then I can watch the NFL and it's not gay, right? Because I do it. No, it's a fucking game. You're playing a game. MMA is a sport based on a skill, a art, a mission that is designed at its base to make you a more valuable man. Shooting a fucking 20-foot jump shot has absolutely zero fucking value as soon as you get off of the fucking game fucking court. So I'm sorry, those of you that watch UFC, oh yeah, well I watch combat sports, that's cool. If you don't train, you're no fucking better than the rest of them. You're just like the fucking, the guy who's got some fucking, you know, dude's name on his back from the NFL. You're just like that guy, except maybe you're like the leather jacket wearing version of that. There is not enough time in the day to do all the things that we as men are supposed to be doing, not only to fulfill our obligations, the oaths that we've made, the responsibilities that we already know that fall on our shoulders, but of developing all of the potential that you fucking damn well know you have. I played Division III football. I've competed in wrestling, jiu-jitsu, submission grappling. I've fought MMA professionally. I've competed in powerlifting, bodybuilding. I wasn't very competitive in bodybuilding, but I did get on stage in my underwear. I understand sports, right? I understand sports. One of the guys on on this page, I wrote, like, I was a better athlete than 99% of the population. I understand sports. I grew up playing sports. I'm the guy that after fucking school, after high school, would get on my bike, ride my bike up McLean Avenue in Yonkers, out of the Bronx into Yonkers to Coyne Park on McLean Avenue and play basketball for 3-4 fucking hours a day, every day. I get it. And all of you guys that are going out, you know, after work or on the weekends and you're playing in touch leagues and you're playing in basketball leagues, listen, it's fucking exercise, I guess. But this all started with you attaching yourself and your identity and your sense of fulfillment to the accomplishments of other men that aren't even doing anything fucking relevant or significant in your life. How many people do you know had their team lose the big game and they're fucking inconsolable for fucking 2-3 days afterward? It's like a fucking high school girl whose boyfriend broke up with her. Like, I understand why some men disagree with me. I just cannot relate to you. Great saying one of my friends once shared with me. He goes, listen, I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong. So this isn't the first time I brought this up, but this is a sore spot because everybody's like, yeah, but listen, I don't fucking care. I don't care. I don't care. When you're teaching your sons that watching sports is a valuable or a worthwhile investment of time just because you're too fucking insecure to step away from it yourself, I don't give a fuck. That's your fucking legacy. That's your kid that's going to grow up being just as fucking weak as you are because you don't have the fucking balls to actually step away from the entertainment that the businessmen are providing for you, to actually do something real, to actually put yourself in a pressurized situation, work through some fucking adversity, develop a new level of understanding of who the fuck you are, and be more valuable to not only yourself, but everybody connected to you for it. If you don't want to do that, listen, I walk by fucking hungry homeless people all the fucking time. If I don't give a fuck about them, I sure as shit don't give a fuck about you. At one time, I could tell you what was Patrick Ewing's field goal percentage. Best shooting center in the history of the NBA. Listen, I've been there. I've been there. Rodney Hampton, Dave Meggett. Dave Meggett wound up being like a rapist or something. But stats on the field. Stats on the field. Fucking LT, Colt Banks. I've been there. I get it. Get fucking past it, gentlemen. Look at everything going on right now with the social justice bullshit. Everybody's kneeling. Everybody's virtue signaling. Look how significant I am. I remember a couple years ago, a LeBron James story, made the news cycle of somebody painted nigger on his fence or something in some, like, fucking, in the neighborhood that LeBron James lives in. Somebody spray painted nigger. Like, do you fucking believe that? Do you really fucking believe that? He said he, like, moved his family to his other home just to make sure they were safe. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck these people. When the fuck has a professional athlete ever fucking done something so fucking masculine that it made you a better father, a better husband, a better brother, a better man? Don't talk to me about, like, Pat Tillman. Pat Tillman was a fucking man because he stopped playing the game and he fucking put his skin into the only game that matters. And he wound up losing it as a result. That is some masculine shit. All these other fucking guys, these fucking weak fucking sport game playing cuntbags who are making tens of millions of dollars to entertain you, to distract you from realizing how fucking weak and dysfunctional you and the environment you built around you actually is. One of the concepts I talk about often with my coaching students are, it's a concept called bubbles of weakness, right? And what you'll have somebody that is sort of like playing the tallest midget game. It's like, hey, I want to feel tall. Well, if you're not tall, that's a problem, but not without a solution. But the solution is, if you're not a tall guy, but you want to be the tallest guy in the room, you just make sure you only let people that are shorter than you into the room. That way you'll always be the tallest guy, right? Well, that type of concept applied to one's ecosystem, all the individuals around them, I call the bubble of weakness. Only you can ask yourself if you have this right now. Like I said, I give a fuck, like, in an abstract sense. I don't literally give a fuck about what you're doing with your life. You have to give a fuck about it. If you're the person that decides to connect with me in some way, we're going to find a way how that alliance works, but I guarantee you it's going to be based on fucking power and strength. I've had coaching students who have paid me thousands of dollars who I've refused to continue to do business with because I realized I was the guy they were paying just so they could say, hey man, I'm trying this, I'm trying that, and they weren't trying a fucking thing. I don't want that fucking energy on me. Listen, I got a wife and 4 kids. Saying no to a few $1,000s is not always an easy thing to do. But I do not dare subject myself to catching that shit that individuals like that men like that, wear like a fucking perfume. Ugh. I watch sports. I watch, it's like, even if you do, if you disagree with me so fervently, like, think about it. Why the fuck are you posting and arguing with me about it? Why are you not so secure with that you just looked at it and went, he's fucking crazy, and just kept it moving? I'm sure a lot of people have, but those of you that posted, you could not resist. Why? Because this is what happens when you fucking enter the world of Master Chim. You don't fucking survive unscathed. By the way, neither do I. I just lost, how much fucking weight did I lose? 52 pounds in the last 2.5 months? Holy shit. That wasn't fucking, it wasn't easy. It was fucking simple, but it wasn't fucking easy. I don't fucking exclude myself from this fucking lens. But you motherfuckers, oh, I grew up watching sports. Well, what if you grew up fucking shitting your pants? 5 years old, still shit your pants. Well, I've always done it. Yeah, well, you're in kindergarten now. You can't go into kindergarten, little Johnny, if you keep shitting your pants. Well, I've always done it. I don't see why I have to change. It's something I've always done. It's a part of who I am. Why is that not a valid fucking argument? Because we tell little Johnny, shut the fuck up, learn how to wipe your ass or you're not coming to the fucking school. Because we have standards, such as reality has standards. But you know how you escape those standards? When you sit in an aquarium and you thrive in the reality that a better individual provided for you. The only cost that he has to exist in that is that you have to be his subject. You have to do what he tells you to do. That's all you have to do. It's like the Matrix, the fucking guy, I forget his name every time when I use this example, the guy that was eating the fucking steak with the agent. And he's going, I know this is a computer program and this doesn't exist, but the steak is delicious. He didn't give a fuck anymore. He wanted to go back into the Matrix. He didn't want to know that it was the Matrix. He just wanted to go back. If you're that guy, okay, you're that fucking guy. I don't want to fucking deal with you anyway if you're that guy. I don't understand what the fuck is going on with you men. You have right now the entire world that has been shut down over the fear of COVID-19. Over the fear of COVID-19, the whole world shut down. There are businesses shutting down. There are people who are fucking losing their lives. Some of them giving their lives away. Now's not the time to be telling me about the fucking Yankees, you fucking idiot. Oh, I can't wait. Football's back, guys. Football's back. Shut the fuck up. Do you realize how fucking useless you are in 2020, the year of COVID-19? That you can be fucking placated by a fucking game being allowed to be played by multimillionaires on television? All it took was that to make you feel good about yourself? That doesn't show you that there's some fucking deficiency in your fucking development, in the relationship you have with your own fucking identity? That some stranger could say, yes, we're going to play this game and we're going to let you pay for it to watch. And you go, I can live again. Some of you are preaching to the choir. Some of you are so far on the other side of the line, you could all go fuck yourself. I don't care. But there are those of you that are on the fence. There are those of you that have just never heard this perspective. You've never heard this discussed this way. You've never heard of it. You guys got to understand too, like, some of you are my social media friends, right? My social media friends. Some of you I know in reality. Some of you are my friends in reality. Understand that where you are on topics like this is the exact functional use I have for an alliance for you. If you're the guy who likes making jokes, if you're the guy who just likes having a good time, when people mention Justin Garcia, when people mention Master Chim, I want some people to say he is fucking awesome, he is fucking solid, he is the truth. But I want everybody else to fucking hate me. Because if that is the truth, if that is the way it worked out, then that means I have been as clear as I could possibly fucking be. The people who I could offer some power to, maybe build an alliance because they're utilizing that to improve their own situation, that drives me. The people that they're going to do everything in their power to just justify their own fucking mediocrity, by trying to go at everything I say, it's not just this, whatever it is, I have no fucking use for those people anyway. I don't give a fuck about those people. I haven't looked at the comments. Let's see what's going on here. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. I haven't looked at the comments. Let's see what's going on here. Let me mute my fucking TV. Got it. All right. What's up to everybody? Everybody's saying what's up. Jose Killshot Rivera. Killshot never killed a thing in his fucking life. I love sports. Of course you do. People like you do love sports. Continuing his weak rambling of posts, he writes or asks, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a sport also, right? Well, there is a sport for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners, but if you think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a sport, then you don't know what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is. Pete says, I'm from Texas originally. Football is an important family tradition. Luckily, I'm masculine enough that I don't need my role models and homies to have carbon copy opinions to validate my own perspective. Okay? Teddy, I'm straight as an arrow, but I love you. JG, I'm one of Mike's students. What's up, Big Teddy? Rocky says, depends on the sport you post. I don't know what that means. Jeremiah Johnson says, just as TTK 2 on Tom as previously stated, court jesters, that's right. Vic De La Cruz, Justin, you were a beast. No, Vic, you were a fucking beast. Weren't you drafted or something? Didn't you play like AAA ball? Victor De La Cruz Jr. right there, guys. Incredible athlete. Jeff Gordon. What's up, brother, man? No, you're funny. Funny how? David James Ballard, my friend. Let's see what he says. Oh, it says, okay, it's not that long. I don't have any emotional attachments to sports. I like to watch fights because I train. If I'm hanging out with folks who want to watch a sports ball game, I can enjoy the experience, but I couldn't care less about the outcome, including in MMA, unless it's someone I know. See, that's fucking solid. I'm not talking about, by the way, when you are being entertained by people playing a game, and there is an experience that has some sort of positive outcome during the individual game, during the network that is being made, during the ritual. I am not arguing against rituals of entertainment. I'm not saying, because if that's the case, I have to sit here and argue against every form of entertainment. The only thing you can do is train. And that couldn't be further from the truth. What I'm talking about are people who take these games and they internalize them as a component of their identity. They don't know what to do when the season's over. They have the names of other men on their back. Like, that's what we used to do for our girlfriends in high school. We used to let them wear our jerseys. That is what you're doing. It's like, I don't fucking get it. Guy walking around with a Michael Jordan jersey. It's like, that is just so fucking gay. Listen, Michael Jordan, incredible competitor, incredible mindset, fucking billionaire. A lot to learn from the mind of Michael Jordan. I don't give a fuck about his fucking jersey, his sneakers, You are not emulating anything that is worth anything about Michael Jordan by wearing clothes that he sells you or clothes that has his fucking name on them. You are not mimicking any of those attributes. You are doing nothing Jordan-esque by wearing a Michael Jordan jersey. You want to do something Jordan-esque? Don't be a fucking quitter. Work 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 times as hard as anybody that is doing what you do to get by in life. Work harder than everybody and watch yourself rise to the top. That's doing something Jordan-esque. Don't wear his fucking jersey. Fuck. Alex asks, what's your feeling on WWE? It's fucking soap operas for men. You know, it's... I mean, are we still watching that as men? Is that what we're doing these days, 2020? We're watching, you know, soap operas with fucking wrestlers? I used to love WWF back when it was called that back in the day. I was also fucking 12. Dave says, I quit watching sports when they started advocating for sodomy. Well, I didn't quite catch that commercial, but I think I get what you're saying. And let me offer, this isn't a counterpoint, but in addition to that, I would say my primary point before I made criticisms like that about sports. The only way you eliminate bad habits is you replace them with strong ones. So the whole Black Lives Matter, everybody's like, hey, I'm gay, and you guys all have to love me because I'm gay. Nobody fucking asked you, by the way. But all of these virtue signaling, social justice campaigns, all these things that are just out to influence the narrative of the national conversation, none of these things would be participated in if all the individuals who are participating in that subculture had better things to fucking do. The guys that train, right? A lot of jiu-jitsu MMA guys on my list here. A lot of you guys that are watching right now, jiu-jitsu MMA guys. A lot of you fucking guys don't catch the big game on TV because you're fucking training. That is how you get rid of sports. You don't get rid of it by banning it. You don't get rid of it by just saying how fucking stupid it is. You advocate and internalize and install all of the rituals you should be fucking doing instead of sports. Because if you have nothing to fucking do, I'm almost not even going to argue that you shouldn't be watching sports in the first place. The whole idea is to not be a fucking loser that has to sit in front of a television watching other men make their fucking families proud while you're sitting there in the company of your own. Dwayne Davis says, as a sport watcher, I came on here to argue, but after watching about 10 minutes, he makes an interesting point. I appreciate it. Paul Seattle, you're speaking a lot of truth, he says. Danny Montavo, what's up, Big Danny? He says, watching this at work and all my sport-loving coworkers are all very uncomfortable, proving exactly as you've just stated. Well, you know, this is the thing. Why the fuck wouldn't you want to be uncomfortable? Why the fuck is everybody so fascinated with being comfortable? I had a friend of mine, I'm not going to shout him out. I'm not going to tell him your name, Steve. The other day, he was going to go and work out. He was going to go work out. He was going to go lift. He went home. He drove all the way to the gym. He was going to lift. But he decided to go home. You want to know why he decided to go home? Because he didn't have a parking spot close enough to the gym. He couldn't find a parking spot close enough to the gym. So he decided it just wasn't worth it. Oh my God, what the fuck? What the fuck? Everybody's addicted to comfort, man. Everybody is addicted to comfort. You should be addicted to power. You should be addicted to progress. What fucking metrics are you using to prove to yourself that you are fucking doing anything worth a shit? What, you have a nice car? You have all the jewelry? Do you have all the jewelry? What are the fucking metrics? Do you look at your son and say, you know what? When he grows up, There's not a fucking thing that could happen in this world that he's not going to be fucking prepared for? Do you look at your son that way? Because I work every fucking day to help my kids with that, and I still don't give myself permission to even remotely think I can look at them like that. They need more. In order for them to get more, I need to be more. When the fuck does a dad have time to start watching other men running around in a fucking field? When that's in front of him. Big Mac Green says, I've come to the conclusion that sports ball fans are simply the biggest nerds alive, same level as comic book fans, especially the ones who live it, breathe it, and know every stat on every player. And see, that's the thing. You guys all know what LARPers are, right? Live action role players. LARPers, on the weekend, they will adorn themselves in the identity that they want to represent amongst their friends. They will meet their friends at a location, and they will collectively pretend they are part of something that they are not. They will use their imaginations and ritualize the imagined experience of other individuals. And that is exactly what a fucking sports fan is. I'm not sitting here saying that I think there's any way, shape, or form that sports will dissolve anytime soon as a pastime for Americans. Nike, Reebok, Adidas, McDonald's, Facebook, Amazon, these companies have their hooks in everything at a level of depth that the majority of you are never going to be able to break the fucking brainwashing anyway. You know, there was a point where it's like people were just oblivious to how they were being manipulated. They were oblivious to, you know, the fact that the FDA could be compromised. You know, how the 4 basic food groups and the 3 square meals a day and breakfast is the most important meal of the day. How these people who were tasked with keeping us healthy, not that it should have been their fucking job anyway, but they were tasked with keeping us healthy. The overwhelming majority of people could not fathom that these people could be compromised in some way to serve their own purposes, to serve their own needs. People, no, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. We're past that fucking point, people. At this point, if you still fucking believe these people, if you still think that the media, that the big money fucking entertainment industry, that all these people are somehow connected to you being a better you, then you are a fucking idiot that's living with his head in the fucking sand, and you don't want to be pulled out of the fucking matrix. Okay. No problem. No problem at all. Joey says, signed up and paid my money today. I'm assuming you mean to my membership site. Congratulations and welcome. He says, as a single parent father of an 11-year-old boy since he was 2, I've been winging it because I grew up without a father. I only knew what not to do. So I look for any way, any insight on how to be a better father, a better man. Thank you. Fucking A, Joey. That's what it's about. Good shit. Big Mark says, I used to walk 4 blocks every time I went to Star Wars my cardio. Right on. James Chipman, mock the fucking week. I've been saying it for years, James. I've been saying it for years. They still don't fucking listen to me. Chris says, I'm a land-owning male. That's like my bare minimum metric for success. Well, you know what? It's a good fucking place to start. Casey, I'm glad you didn't know what a LARP was too. Chris says there's a fine line between LARPing and reenacting, or at least there can be. Only in one's mind, my friend. I'm fucking with you. I'm not talking about the guys that go and like reenact the fucking, you know, American Revolution around the fucking country. So, I don't know. Am I supposed to keep rambling about this? See, I said it before. I'm not trying to convert people that are on the other side of this battlefield. People who will do nothing but try and validate and defend and protect and isolate their identity, no matter what the cost. I get that some people truly don't think they're capable of being more than they currently are. I get that there's people like that. I would argue that the only reason that's the case because is that is what they believe. That is the story they're writing. That is the character in that story that they've designed. You know, I look at so many people who, throughout history, now, individuals I know, who started with nothing and are now fucking crushing it. Crushing it. Some of them as professional athletes, ironically. Whenever I look at those people, two things. Whenever I look at those people, number one, I have to look at them as representing a formula that works, a successful formula. Anybody who has achieved any development of maybe sex, successful people get a lot of sex. Any mission that they've engaged at a level of great success and mastery, they represent the application of universal formulas in a specific direction, and they're a model in those ways for anybody to emulate in their own lives. We all get that. We understand that. Yeah, but you know what? When I saw him get injured at halftime and come back, you know, that was a perfect representation of what it meant to be heroic and courageous and okay. And with that energy, you took it and did what exactly? Because sitting here and fucking cheerleading for cool shit that other people do doesn't make you any less of a fucking cunt. So look at these people as carriers of formulas, the universal formulas, because they're there. You look at the rapper Jay-Z. How does a drug dealer piece of shit wind up being a billionaire? He got some shit right. But he'll sit there and talk about Black Lives Matter and everyone's a victim, and because he's still running his formulas. He's still hustling. I said there were two things. One of them is the formula. The second one is the state you should be in when you are looking at these formulas. And that is a state of humility and gratitude. Humility and gratitude. Humility. I ain't shit compared to the universe. Gratitude. I see every opportunity that universe that doesn't have to do shit for me is putting in front of me, and I want the universe to know that I'm not taking it for granted. That's what humility and gratitude is. Even though I ain't shit, the universe still puts all these fucking opportunities in front of me. Humility and gratitude. In order to have a life that is exuding humility and gratitude, what do you have to do? You have to expose your deficiencies, expose your vulnerabilities. You can't hide them. You can't mask them. You can't pretend they're not there. You can't bully your way to making sure nobody fucking talks about it. How do I know this? Because I was that fucking guy. In different applications throughout my whole life. I remember I got thrown out of the dormitories in college. I punched some guy in the face and I broke his orbital bone because walking through the hall, I gave him I probably said something, I don't remember. I probably said something to him and he called me a spick. And when he called me a spick, I was like, oh, fucking freebie. Can't call me a spick. Everybody knows you can't call somebody a spick. I fucking boop. So as I'm sitting there with handcuffs on in the campus police, they're like, why'd you hit him? And I'm like, ha, it's waiting for you to ask. Turns out, call me a spick. They were like, but why'd you hit him? I'm like, clearly you don't know what that means. I sat there thinking I had everything fucking figured out. I wasn't walking around humble and grateful. Not by any means. I was walking around thinking, I was one of these assholes that had more fucking answers than questions. It's one of the hardest things people deal with in reality now. They got a lot of information. It's really a little information. But if you compare it to the amount of information we've had in the history of mankind, I guess this is a recurring thing. As we all collectively learn more. But they have a lot of information. They don't know it's a little information. They think it's a lot of information because to them it's a lot of information. But because they see this information they have is a lot of information and they're not walking around with humility and gratitude, they start acting as if they have all the information. So now you have these guys that have very little information who think it's a lot of information and act like it's all the information. So what is it about these people that makes them so destructive in their own lives? They refuse to look at formulas that are available to them. They refuse to turn the eye towards their own identity and say, you know what, I should be better at this, 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 and this. And the fact that I'm not is not acceptable to me. I expect more from myself. These individuals have such an underdeveloped relationship with the powerful them, the pure them, the perfect them, that they spend the rest of their lives walking around and creating these bubbles of weakness, I explained before, creating these ecosystems that do nothing but validate the character that they've portrayed themselves to be in this story that they aim to continue writing. We all know somebody who is, 6 feet tall, 230, 240. And if his name's Mike, it's Big Mike. If it's Chris, it's Big Chris. And they've been calling him, Big Lenny since he's a fucking kid. Because he's a big fuck. And he's built his identity around that. What do you think Big Paul's response is going to be when he's overweight at 30 years old, at 40 years old? What do you think his motivation is going to be when his whole identity circles around the acknowledgement from other people that he is this role, this character? I'm not Paul, I'm Big Paul, right? Right? Oh yeah, that's Big Paul, that's Big Paul. I remember, you guys remember I used to have a big ass beard. And I shaved the beard. And this is when I was doing Pressure Project. And a whole bunch of people were like, why'd you shave the beard? I was like, I'm not a fucking beard. What the fuck is wrong with you people? What do you mean why I shaved the beard? Why the fuck are you so upset about me shaving my beard? You are not your circumstances. It's hard. It's a hard sell, man. It's a hard sell. People go to the gym to lift weights. Why? Because they want to build muscle. Well, how do they do it? They go, they lift the weight. If it's too light, what do? They don't go, oh, built the muscle. No, they put a little bit more weight in the bar until it's a little bit of a struggle. Not too much, then you can't do it. You know you don't get anything out of trying to lift something that you can't fucking lift. You just get hurt. You understand that. But in life, everybody wants to be fucking easy. Everybody wants an empty bar. Everybody wants an empty bar. And if there's any weight on the bar, it has to be put there by them intentionally, with a little bit of planning. God forbid you have somebody that they wake up one day and there's all the fucking weight that they need on that bar through no doing of their own, through circumstances alone. What do they fucking do? The overwhelming majority of people, they look at that and they go, woe is me, poor me, how could this happen? My life sucks. They start this fucking narrative. They're just applying, coping mechanisms that they started practicing much younger. They've either always got the response that they wanted, or it's behavior that was modeled, by people that they respected, by people who they were looking to develop their own identity following. But when life, the universe, God, gods, whoever puts weight on your bar, it's just weight on the fucking bar. But because individuals have absolutely no relationship with that internal process of building strength, they don't even know what the fuck to do. It's like my friend who was going to the gym to lift weights and decided to go home because he couldn't find a close parking spot to the gym. That's what you have. You have people right now that have more opportunities than the history of fucking mankind. And they want to fucking complain about woe is me. What the fuck are you doing? This all started talking about sports. I hope you're understanding now what I'm trying to fucking talk about. I'm not talking about, hey, you can't appreciate somebody, 280 pounds running a 4.4. Like, yeah, that's fucking amazing. Oh, absolutely. Very, very fucking impressive. But you know what? I don't have any fucking time to make this fucking game a part of who I am. I'm too busy doing shit. You're somebody that's addicted to these fucking grown men playing these games? I'm disgusted by it. Not because of the game, but because you don't have anything fucking better to do. Ay, ay, ay. I look down. Casey writes, hey, totally off topic, but are you off the monsters now? Not really. So here's my plan. 10.5 ounce. 10.5 ounce? Yeah, 10.5 ounce cans. I found 10.5 ounce cans. I was usually having 405 16.9 ounce cans. 500 milliliters. I'm now having 405 10.5 ounce cans. Do I want to get rid of Monster eventually? Sure. In my path to perfection, at some point, I will stop drinking Monsters. But I'm on the ladder. That's all that matters. Chris says, I do campus security. I once had a girl warn me that if another girl mouthed off to her, she was going to go at her and just wanted to let me know. I was like, ma'am, I can't give you permission to attack someone. I live in Maryland, so I had to go into the whole concept of a duty to retreat as well. Oh, man. Yeah, I thought I had the fucking world. It's funny. And I guess this is just how, I've got 4 kids, and I see them all going through this process in their own way. It's a progression of not knowing anything to learning a little bit and thinking they know everything. Like the confidence that comes with the knowledge they have far exceeds the actual value of the knowledge itself. And then you get to a certain point where you realize, holy fuck, I don't know anything. And the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. And that becomes the narrative of how I design my path. Fuck. Kay says, come on, you had quit. We were on a break. I told Maz. Maz was like, did you quit me? I said, I can never quit you. All right, guys. So I hope I made my points abundantly clear. I don't need you to love me. I don't need you to follow me. I don't need you to do anything. But if you listen to it, it's in your fucking head. Do what you will. I appreciate you guys regardless. I'll talk to you guys soon. And as always, brothers and sisters, pressure to motherfucking power.